Alright, so it looks like when they're the same, there's no difference indicated here. And then if I add something, adds it there. Hey everyone, it's Jamie. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be building an example app together, and this is something that I kind of just want to exist. It's going to be like a difference app, like textual difference app, so I'm going to design it here and then build it right in front of you. Alright, so on the left hand side I want there to be a box kind of like that, and on the right hand side another box. So you paste content in the left hand side as well as the right hand side, and then it'll highlight the differences between them using some technology I'm not aware of yet. We're going to look for a package to do that for us. Okay, so to start off I have a blank project. If you want to follow along or whatever, just go through my tutorial on Angular Material Basics, and then you'll get a blank app that looks like this. I'm not really sure we exactly need any Angular Material components. Let's have a look at the site, but I'm pretty sure we just need some regular text boxes. I guess we could have a card. Sure, we'll grab a card just to make it look a little nicer. Okay, so have a mat card. We actually need two of them. I'll make the second one in a second. So I'm going to call this first one, give it a class of left box. Okay, and then I have no idea if you can do this, but I'm going to try and make it content editable, and then tie that content to ng model called left text. On the model change event, I'm going to call an event called text changed. For now, I'm just going to log something to the console, and we'll see what that does. Okay, so it looks like we can't use ng model with mat card. So instead of putting it directly on the card, I'm going to put it on a div inside of the card. Now, in order to allow us to use ng model with content editable, I actually need to install something called ng content editable. So I'm going to run npm I ng content editable, and then inside of the module file, I'm going to import the content editable directive, and then add that to the declarations as well. Okay, now I'm going to restart the server. Oh, also to make that directive work, I forgot you also need to add prop value accessor to be inner HTML, so then it knows what the model is going to be tied to. Also, we need to import the forms module as well as the reactive forms module according to the docs here. So I'm going to add those to the imports both above and below. Okay, so now it just says that mat card isn't a known element, so now I need to add mat card module. Alright, great, so now we actually see something, and you can see if we click here, it is actually editable, which is nice, and it's calling text changed, so that's extra nice. And the card is growing, which I didn't expect it to, but it is, so great. I don't really like this border around the whole thing. I think that looks kind of weird. So I'm going to try and remove that by going into CSS and then saying any mat card which has a div which is focused, then we need to say the border is none. I'm going to try setting the outline to none as well. Alright, so here we are. Looks like we don't have the outline anymore. Looks great. Okay, so now we also need the other one. Okay, so we have these two boxes, and they have models tied to left and right variables in the TypeScript, which I've declared here. And then I think they look pretty good with some styling, like we need to set their width to be like 50% or less. So for the left and right boxes, I'm going to set the width to be 45%. And then for just the left box, I'm going to float it left. And then I'm going to float the right box right. Okay, we'll see how that looks. Almost there. I think they have a little bit too much width. Actually, I'm going to change their width to be a calculation. Maybe we'll just find a magic number here. We'll try 32. It's too little. We'll do 64. Okay, that looks really good. Okay, so now we can type in the left-hand box and the right-hand box, and they both stay left and right lined. Okay, now the only thing we're really missing is the difference. So I'm going to look at some difference packages, and then we'll decide how to do the difference and display it graphically to the user. Alright, so the top Google result for Text Diff is this npm package. So to install it, looks like I just run this command right here. So go and run that here, stop the server. Since we're in TypeScript, in order to import it, we have to do something a little special. We need to go inside of the TypeScript file, and then at the top, that's how you import an entire node module in TypeScript. And then when the text changes, we need to do some of this other stuff. Alright, so it looks like that pretty HTML gives us our HTML back, so we're going to have a diff HTML object, and then we'll render that in the view. So we'll say this dot diff HTML equals the result of pretty HTML. Below here, I'll make another card. In fact, the only thing it really needs here is a div with HTML set to the, what did I call that? Diff HTML. And that is a variable in the TypeScript, so we need these brackets. Okay, so now I'm going to run start, or ngserve again. So I need to add some CSS for that bottom box. Okay, so I think it's clear both actually. So we'll test that out. We also need some margin on the bottom box, so margin top is going to be 16px. Try that out. Looks like it doesn't care about our margin, so maybe I can add margin to these ones. There we go. So if I add it to the one of these boxes, then it will work. So I'll add it to both of them. Margin bottom of 16px. Okay, great. So now we have our left-hand side and our right-hand side. And this thing looks like it's confused. So let's see. We don't have any errors. Oh, it looks like I forgot to pass it the right string. So we need to pass it this dot left text and this dot right text. Also, it kind of looks like it's this text in here is actually HTML, which turns out we don't really want. Like, even though it's kind of nice because we can like use Command B and bold stuff and underline, we want this to be a plain text difference tool so that you can actually compare HTML without it getting confused. So what we're going to do instead of this content editable stuff is I'm simply going to make this a text area. Remove this prop value accessor, don't need content editable, and then we'll probably have some styling issues we gotta fix. Alright, so we need to make the text area have the width of 100%, border none. Set the resize to none, and then I'm going to set the height to be like 256px, and we'll start with that. So copy those, go back in here in the CSS, and then make sure that any text areas inside of these boxes are have those styles, as well as it's not the div focus we need to be worried about, it's actually the text area focus. Okay, so I'll change that too. Okay, so here we are again. This is looking a lot better. So it's registering new line characters without showing divs, which is good. And then if we go in this other one, same thing. So it's computing the difference and showing us. So another thing that we could do to make this a little better is change the styling for the del and ins tags, which is what it uses to declare the differences. So like for the del tags, we can set the text decoration to be none, and then we can set the background color to be like red, I guess. I think I should have to type in some F's, and then it'll let me change this color. And then I'm going to set it to like that color. Great. And then same thing for the other tag, the INS, except I'm going to change this one to be more green tinted. So we'll try that. So now red and green will show up when they should. This is a little hard to tell if this is accurate, so I'm going to type an actual sentence. This is a sentence. And then I'm going to copy that and then paste it over here. Alright, so it looks like when they're the same, there's no difference indicated here. And then if I add something, adds it there. And then if I remove this, or I guess I should remove it here. So that does kind of an interesting thing. Alright, one other thing I noticed is that in order to click on the text area, you need to click like on this side of it because it only spans half of it. But I want to be able to click anywhere on the card, so I'm going to go back to the CSS and make it so that any text area has a width of 100%, so that'll make it span the entire card. And now we'll be able to click anywhere in here, and then we'll get that difference. Okay, so it looks like it's working pretty good, you guys. Thanks for watching. I'm not really sure if people are going to be interested in this sort of video. It's just an experiment. But I've finished all of the Angular material elements except like 2 of them, so I'm going to need some more videos to do. Let me know what kind of content you guys are interested in the comments below. I'm definitely interested in your guys' feedback. So yeah, thanks for watching, you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.